Welcome everyone to the day 2 of EngX Community Day. My name is Vipin Bopan and I'm a product manager with EPAM, stationed in the Netherlands. Today, for this session, we have a very interesting topic. Uh, Gartner in 2021 ran a survey against around 1,500 organizations to just check, according to them, what is the most future-proof job for the next 50 years. And lo and behold, the, the definite answer was software engineering. With a lot of programming languages and platforms there, and millions of people wanting to move into the engineering domain, there is a clear lack of uh, guidance and structure required for people to avoid the common pitfalls when they move into engineering field. So today's topic is what I wish I had known when I started as an engineer. And we have 3 experts who have decades of experience in this field, who will be guiding you, who will be providing you their life experiences to avoid those common pitfalls or experiences that they faced while they moved into software engineering field and then be successful. So we have Galina, who's a project manager with EPAM, and she is proud to be a software test automation engineer in .NET, and she is really focused on customer and the team to develop them and provide the objectives that has been set. We have Vera, who is a delivery and program manager with EPAM. Now she's running a program for one of the top 5 travel management companies. And we have Elisaveta, who is a software engineer, and she started her career with EPAM at the age of 17, and now she's a full stack engineer. So we have these 3 experts who will be guiding you for the next 1 hour to how to be successful in the field of software engineering. So Vera, welcome to the session. Welcome Galina to the session, and welcome Elisaveta to the session. And I hope you will have a great session with the participants who are willing to know your experience in this field. So Vera, I want to start this session with a question to you about looking at your early days at EPAM. Can you tell us why you have chosen to be in the software engineering field and how it all started for you?
Thank you, Bibin, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be a part of such fantastic event. And I'm really thrilled to be here. So guys, we'll have a lot of stories for you today. So grab your favorite drink, make yourself cozy, and stay with us for the next 45 minutes.
And it's Friday. Happy Friday. We can relax for the next hour, listen to our stories. So
great. Yes. So the first story I wanted to tell is about my junior days. So when I was a university freshman, I didn't know what to expect. Like I already had the computer started sometime in the beginning of the 21st century, and I knew how to install things. I knew how to print a document. But I didn't really know what programming is, but I was very excited to learn things. So when I got my curriculum, I learned that I'm going to study C language and decided to buy a book on it. But I didn't really want to buy those heavy, big books like Shield or Stroustrup, and I bought a small one with the title on it, C# reference. So when I got to my first class, I was very surprised that that is not the language I'm going to study. And I put that book on a shelf for something like 7 years and took it back in order to prepare for my first interview as a junior .NET developer in EPAM. I was very, very nervous, and I can hardly remember the questions I was asked. But I think one of those was about value and reference types. And this information was in that book. Maybe I missed up some of the more complicated questions, like transaction rollback algorithms. But overall, I think I made a good impression and I got a job.
yeah, feels the same. I remember my first interview in EPAM. I was also scared. Like, I was thinking how they could possibly hire me because I know nothing. I don't know how to do my work. Yeah, but in reality, in reality, you're not expected to be an expert on your first job position. So when you are a junior, you will have some experienced people around to guide you, and never hesitate to ask questions.
That's exactly what I was thinking about when I was preparing for this talk. So I found these two quotes, once from Andy Hunt. He is one of the Agile Manifesto authors, and he told us that no one in the brief history of computing has ever written a piece of perfect software. So it's unlikely that you'll be the first. And Donald Knuth, who is famous mathematician and computer scientist, also said that if you optimize everything, you will always be unhappy. So my recommendation to everyone is to do your best and you'll succeed.
Right, Vera, totally agree with you. So, but one more time, the guys, if you try something, it's failed, it's just experience. So you need to try again. So, and finally you achieve that you would like to have, definitely. So, and when you're doing your best, when you're like trying to apply to the position, passing the interview, manage to do that, the next thing, it's the new challenges in your company. So, and here, let me add the small story that I had in my life. It was a bit challenging for me, to be fair, but one by one, step by step. 10 years ago, in one outsourcing company in Belarus. So it was, by the way, it was not EPAM. So I did my best and passed an interview, just a junior test automation engineer, and was assigned on the one project in order to test antivirus products buying. So, and nobody just conducted with me any onboarding process. So just one of the person from this team gave me the test scenario and said that you need to automate this test. You have some, like, for instance, a couple of days, and you'll need to have credit card in order to buy some products, right? So it's easy. So I tried to do my best. I didn't ask for sure. I didn't ask any questions because I was thinking that probably if I ask some questions, I can be appear not very smart person, I would say. Probably I was a bit shy, I don't know, but I didn't ask. So and started to write the code, executed it again and again, and I still remember this feeling, how I was excited about the first time when the browser was open automatically without any my actions as a user. It was unbelievable for me. So, and after that, by the end of the day, I realized that all my that were on my credit card that was provided to me was gone. Something like $5,000. I spent everything, and I came to this guy and said, I'm sorry, but I guess I have some issue. And this guy said that, now it will be deducted from your salary. It was a nightmare. To say that I was shocked, I didn't say anything because I thought that probably I didn't know how to live, because I have a credit for my TV set. I need to spend almost 1 year without salary just to try to return this money that I spent. I didn't know that exactly this card is real. But the good point that in 3 days, I just realized that it was a fake card, that we have a couple of environments, like QA environment, like dev environment, staging. It was not production, and everything is okay. And my finances is not going to be damaged. So it was a really cool feeling that I understood that nothing so bad can happen. But in general, what I got from this time, it's a lot of lessons learned that I now can use. Yeah. So let me just share them, right? So first of all, owing to this situation, what I got on the stage of interview, I need always understand my responsibilities, what expected from me, because sometimes it didn't match what the project needs and what I would like to achieve. You always, as a person who is going to apply in the position should reach some win-win results. So it means that on the one hand, you need to improve your skills, your technical, your soft skills. On the other hand, you need to bring a value on the project. So just think about it. So, and always ask about your expectations about your work, about what you're going to do. Additionally, I would like to highlight that you need to study a specific project knowledge, domain knowledge. What I'm talking about? I'm talking about, for instance, if I don't like a financial area, it's just my, like, I know there's a lot of people who loves it and working with only this, but I don't. I like healthcare. So it means that if I'm spending a lot of time out of my working hours in order to understand and research what's happened right now in the world, so in healthcare area, I can apply my knowledge and probably I can be more interested in the project and tasks on the specific healthcare domain. So, and what is the question then? Why should try to apply the position on financial or in healthcare? For sure, I will vote for healthcare and try to bring some benefits there, just like win-win situation. So then let's imagine you're already in a team, and what I can recommend here. So it's essential to ask about onboarding guide. What was in my story? I didn't know about other environments. I was a junior. I even didn't know that we have a different environments, how I can understand it, from what I should understand it. So I need to ask about onboarding. And every time right now, it doesn't depend on the titles that I come and on the positions that I'm always asking about onboarding. You need to understand what the process in a project is and what tools people are using and so on. You need to start quickly. And one more recommendation for me, it's returning to my story, right? So the one of the main person in this story, except me for sure, it was my mentor, I would say, like mentor. Now I understand it was just neglecting behavior to me, and it's a gap. So, and mentor, that is the person who is guiding you, who is recommending some stuff to learn, that just providing feedback, and it doesn't matter, junior you right now or senior manager. So for all positions, it's better to have a mentor or a supervisor to go and to learn quickly. So, well, being a mentor, please do not forget that you are responsible for your mentees. They're expecting it from you. You are a person who is inspiring and playing a role model for them. So yeah, girls, sorry, I'm talking a lot. And
it's fine. We really enjoyed your story, and like, I feel like it was a hard lesson to learn. That guy made fun of you. But anyway, one should be extra careful working with sensitive data like that, like payments especially.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I want to say that, again, as I said, ask questions, don't be shy. It's like key to success in some cases.
Right.
Okay. Oh, you found yourself a mentor, got an onboarding guide, mastered your technical expertise, gained domain knowledge, and finally got into comfort zone. Is there any danger to that?
Right. Yeah, definitely. I guess all of us understand the situation when you already thinking that you are a guru in such area and you can do everything in one time. Sometimes it's called like overconfidence. Yeah.
How does it apply to the project?
It's easy. Yeah, to be fair, it's easy. Yeah, so yeah, you couldn't just imagine how it can be applied. So I will tell you in this exactly story from me one more. So I will spend a bit more time here talking about unbreakable production. Just story. It's real story from my like previous experience as well as the previous one. And here only the one difference that I was already like on a manager position here. So and I will talk from the different angle, right, about the unbreakable production. So And I just joined the project that was already in progress for a couple of years. Everything was stable, and the development team was wonderful. It's really professionals, but they're working together already more than 3 or 4 years, something like this. And they wouldn't like to do anything. Additionally, it was, everything was fine. They did a huge number of releases. It was stable. Everything client was happy. And the project was in not an active development phase. Mostly it was like close to maintenance, I would say, and they wouldn't like to bring some improvements. And I guess it was like the root cause of the issues that happened. So, and just a couple of words about what we had as a team. We had what is the situation happened, yeah? So it was a major release upgrade. So guys was working for a couple of months in order to upgrade the major version of open source content system for publishing the content in intranet and internet sites, so whatever. And they did it finally, like for a couple of months. Everything was tested on different environments, different levels, on low and high level environments. Everything was fine. Regression testing done. Product owner was happy because she tested everything. Looks like okay, nothing dangerous, nothing changed. Everything's fine. And she made a decision about rollout. Release, as usual, we were doing in the evening for client side. We did. She tested on production, said everything okay, thank you for your job, and development team leave to rest. And next day, we just understood that some magic happened over the night. So the production environment is getting slower, depends on the number of users that come to this website in order to register for the training session. It was a training portal. So, and after this, in one moment, production just down. So in the middle of client business day, a product owner was in a panic. She was losing the money every minute. She just typed in the messages in the private chats, in the mails, with asking to help somehow. What happened? The development team, they did really great job. They spent all their evening, like hours. They were working in the night because it was a huge difference between a client time zone and development time zone. But they did their best. They found the issue, and the issue was in one of the like changes that they did in refactoring one of the bunch of classes when they upgraded this version of the library for open source CMS system. They find it, but what do you think? What I can like suggest myself right now if I were on such situation? We have some tips, but Vera, probably first of all you can share what you can if you were me, what could you recommend me to do?
You know, I was thinking about this story and like talking from manager perspective and from business perspective, you as an engineer should probably put yourself into your customer shoes and understand how this issue impacts their business and what is the severity. Because sometimes things that look pretty small from the engineering side can have huge impact on business. Like you've mentioned, users could not register at the portal and they didn't purchase the trainings.
Right.
And that affected the whole scene. And once you realize it, at least try to find a workaround to minimize the effect of the problem before you and your team will prepare the proper fix. Because usually research takes time, investigation takes time, and preparing the new version of software and running it through the delivery pipeline, it's not something you can do like a snap of a finger. So at least suggest something that your client can do meanwhile you and your team are working on the fix.
So exactly the things that I got. Yeah, Lisa. Yeah, sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, I was thinking, was it a problem in quality gates or rollback strategy?
Absolutely. You named the root cause of this issue. It was never introduced as a performance load testing as a project. No test for non-functional requirements. In one moment, we understood that we need to conduct it before the ever release, because we tested it for a couple of users on the production. It was fine. Nothing dangerous happened. But then the 50 more people just introduced the issue. So yeah, exactly. You're right.
Yeah, and rollback strategy is something that teams usually omit, so they know how to get their code to production, but no one really thinks how to switch back to a previous version, which is more stable.
Correct.
And sometimes you really need to think about those things for larger releases.
By the way, we missed this as well. So it was not tested for backward compatibility. You're totally right. And the things that probably I can suggest the guys right now who are just starting and the progress of development to consider it as well. You always should have rollback strategy available and test it. It's very important.
And what about the quality gates?
Yeah, you know, girls, the quality gates should definitely be introduced, yes. But if we talk about how can team decide what should be in their delivery pipeline?
Oh, it's easy. It's easy. First of all, yeah, you can see the like tips on the slide, but additionally, I would like to share, guys. So in the scope of EPAM projects, it's available EngX slide survey. By the way, you can pass this survey for all projects. Right now, it's available in our tools. So internal tools, and it's surveys that assist you and help to measure engineering excellence level on your project. And the results definitely will guide you with a list of activities that product can benefit from, and bringing you easy way to understand what should be fixed. But still, you need to focus on unit tests, code review process, security, performance, load testing, and so on. So, and then for sure, one more point that probably we didn't mention yet, it's about the conducting retrospective session. It's very, very important. You need to understand what was wrong and what was good, what should we proceed doing, what should we stop, or probably something should be introduced new. So again, one more time, one thing that definitely should you try first, it's introducing and increasing unit tests on your project and adding this level of coverage of unit tests as a quality gate.
Galia, I'm sorry, I can't agree with you. Like, I hear this phrase about 80% unit test coverage all the time, but one should understand road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Okay.
And I have a
Okay.
story how this quality gate can introduce, create a work stoppage for the whole team. And you might remember that story too, because we were working together on that contract management software platform several years ago.
I guess for healthcare, by the way, right?
Right.
It was, I remember, definitely.
To give everyone some context.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, to give everyone some context, it was, as I said, contract management software platforming. There was a large team, more than 30 people, and everyone was very excited because we were meant to use clouds and modern front-end frameworks. And we also had a solution architect supervising our work from the client side. And that guy was super smart, and he was very determined to avoid all the mistakes that caused the previous version of the platform to retire. So this is exactly what he did. One day, he went to CI/CD configuration and enforced the 80% code coverage. You know, like Gandalf and Balrog, you shall not pass. That guy was located in United States, and our team was located in Europe. So next day, team went to work and decided to commit their code sometime by lunchtime. And that's where they realized they cannot do it, because the quality gates were failing at 70, 75, or even 79%. So one could say, what a witty guy. He found a way for the product to become better. But there was one small problem, like code coverage calculation was not done correctly. And it also included scanning of platform and third-party libraries. And it was hardly possible to reach the level of coverage because of that. Anyway, our code mostly contained a data access layer and helpers. So there were a lot of data transfer objects and mappers and hardly any business logic. It was a mess, like you won't believe it. Like leads were swearing and crying. They were very frustrated. They had no permissions to fix the rule and proceed. And they were very upset with solution architect who took that decision on his own without consulting them. They knew unit tests were important, but they also wanted to show progress to the client and switch over to end-to-end feature delivery.
So what was the, like, how you fix that?
Well, what that story taught me is to pay attention to the context and not introduce new rules if those rules bring headache to so many people. Like Bruce Hamilton says, continuous improvement is not about the things you do well, that's work. Continuous improvement is about removing the things that get in the way of your work, the headaches and the things that slow you down. Literally, everyone should remember about the cost of the mistake. And I have a story about it as well.
You have a lot of stories, I know, Vera, so yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Tell
go
us
ahead.
one more time.
Yeah, please bear with me. Like, once upon a time, in a galaxy far, far away, you know, I worked for a commerce company. And those of you who have been to that galaxy too, know how competitive and dynamic e-commerce is. And when November comes, everyone is just talking about Singles Day, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday, because sales during those days are enormous. So everyone was looking forward to it, like buyers and warehousing prepared the stock to sell. Marketing team was running their campaigns to lure the clients. And we, as a development team, were responsible for keeping this whole thing running from shopping to delivery. And same thing as Galina's story. Everything was looking great from unit tests, from integration tests, even end-to-end scenarios were green. However, there was one small mistake, like literally one line of code that stopped everything. Coming back, like our architecture was event-driven, and we used sagas in order to maintain the stateful long-running processes. And sagas usually have state. And that state was stored in the database while process was running, and records were supposed to be deleted once product reaches the warehouse. But it wasn't. So one moment in time during the night, like all bad things usually happen during the night. That's why we remember them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree. And during the
Um,
weekends, by the way, you know.
Yes, and by
That's
ending the weekend. Yeah, worse things happen during the weekend. That database ran out of memory and crashed. So our on-site development team woke up to fix it and ended up spinning the new database server, reconnecting all of the microservices to it and manually filling in the states in order to push orders through. By the dawn, everyone was very exhausted, but happy that we met the SLAs for next day delivery. So, as some people say, smart people learn from their mistakes, but real sharp ones learn from the mistakes of others. So, hope you are learning from our mistakes too. And by the way, we learned from that mistake as well. Next year, everything was super prepared, infrastructure was upgraded, stress tests ran. So it didn't happen once again.
Yeah, by the way, you know, the Black Friday in a week. Shall I expect that everything will stop working in the United States? No?
Yeah.
It happened before, like there were websites shutting down because of the volume of the clients. So you might see something like that in the news.
Maybe, you know, it was Friday the 13th. So it could
Could be.
explain this. Yeah.
Could be.
But Vera, oh my God, what a story, right? Working through the night, it's so stressful. What about work-life balance?
Vera?
Vera, Vera confused, like, oh my God, work-life
She's
balance.
always working during the night, so her usual behavior.
Well,
So she
work-life
doesn't.
balance is not my strongest skill. The only thing I can think about is like you have to pay attention to your soft skills too, right?
Yeah,
Or to
so
negotiate for.
yeah, I have a story related to that. So as we know, engineers can be overwhelmed with responsibilities, right? So we were two girls, data scientist and me as the only software engineer, starting a POC for a new project. And our team was extremely small. Besides us, we had a very experienced BA guy and managers. By the way, very one of them. But were in charge of technical solution, we had to cover all aspects on our own, from code to proposal to stakeholders. So on this project, I have grown a lot. And it once again highlighted for me the importance of soft skills in engineering. When you don't have a reliable person like team lead, your first soft skill to improve is probably decision making. And it could be very stressful, I know. And again, you need to manage it on your own. Also, I would say that it is extremely important to learn the art of time management for everyone and everywhere, especially when you have a strict deadline, like we had only 2 months to present the POC. And when we talk about soft skills, girls, what comes to your mind first?
Public speaking.
Yeah, me too. For me, it's communication skills and public speaking. So familiarity helped me to successfully handle demos, POC proposals, including to VP level stakeholders. Moreover, girls, I was completely unexperienced with AWS, which was the core of our technology stack. But I believe that willingness to learn quickly, diligence, maybe some creative thinking, and not being afraid to ask questions helped me to deal with these critical technical gap. And everything I mentioned above was also life-saving when we faced a repeatedly changing requirements for our system. We needed to adjust quickly. All in all, these skills are required for leadership roles. And I'm very thankful I got through these, and I feel a great development of me as a professional. Our task back there was to ensure the stakeholder that this project has value. So thanks to the full contribution of each of us, we finally brought this project to a valuable production-ready product. So we had an opportunity to expand our team. Now we have a delivery manager who is QA specialist as well, system DevOps engineer, and of course a team lead. Such a happy end. So, and I want everyone to remember that not only the hard technical skills make you the engineer, true engineer.
Oh, come on, Lisa, you can just, just study AWS certification and that's it. New generation, come on. Guys, by the way, in the chat, who are watching us, please type something in the chat to say that whether it was the right direction for Lisa. So,
Yeah,
so
oh my
what
God.
do you think?
Yeah, Lisa, thank you very much for this story. I hope it will encourage some of our viewers to lean in and to learn some of the soft skills.
That is exactly why I was thinking about that. That is exactly what we are here tomorrow, telling all these stories. Because everyone can relate, everyone can associate themselves with these stories. Everybody's engineer, and we are all here in one boat.
Of course, we could continue for several more hours, but I believe, I believe everyone from the audience has some story to tell, but unfortunately our time is limited.
Yeah, by the way, why not? The guys, type us your stories. It's really interesting. You can share your experience because today we shared with you our experience, what we happened, and it was just a lesson learned from us. Probably you can add something. Why not? It's great. Share with us, please.
Bibin, do we have any questions in chat?
Yes, we do. So one of the first questions that participant has asked is, does the location affect your career in software engineering? So what do you guys think?
Does the location affect your career as a software engineer? I feel like in some way it does. I mean, what kind of universities and training courses you have around to participate in person. But of course, like nowadays, it's not like it was 10 years ago. Many of the trainings are outsourced and they are even free of charge. So you can just roll into like Udemy course or Coursera and get the knowledge you need in order to progress with your career. Of course, location also gives you the feeling of what kind of business is around you in your country, like whether you have any of those large international companies around, like Google or Microsoft, or smaller startup companies are more popular there. So depending on the market, you can like tune your career a little bit.
But Vera, I guess it was mostly applied before the COVID situation. Right now, everyone distributed. So, and from my point of view, it's right now is more easy to get any training course to apply, to study, to find a mentor. For instance, if I'm right now in like, United States, and easy for me to find a person over the world. That right now everything. And today, by the way, we are on online conference. Why not? So it means that if you have a huge motivation, you're inspired. Let's do it. It doesn't matter in which location you located in, I don't know, in Belarus, in India, or any other countries. So it's totally fine. If you would like to reach something, you will definitely do it. It just
I would agree. COVID opened many more opportunities for remote work, such as EPAM Anywhere.
Right.
Okay, that's a good answer. So the next question was basically to understand when you present the solution demos to your regular clients, and how is it different from solution demos to very senior executives, like C-level executives, in your experience?
Lisa, maybe you could share your own presenting your proof of concept to vice president.
Oh my God. It's an interesting question, to be honest, and I'm not sure how to answer like in one sentence. But first of all, I'm thinking about the difference between, usual demos and usual demos that are most common on most of the projects, and it could be like once a week, the usual demo, but the proposal of the POC to some high-level guys, it's a rare experience. And first of all, you're of course nervous because demos which are every week, you can just they are typical for you and you know what you're doing, what you're saying. But there you need to be confident enough to speak, like to ensure the audience that you are a skilled technical guy, yeah, the specialist, and you need to thinking about every word you're saying, so you're not especially when you're answering questions, because you need to be sure that you don't raise other questions. So
Okay. Okay, that's a way to look at it. Make sure that they don't question what you're presenting and then ask more questions to put you in a difficult situation. Yeah, that's a good point to consider. Thank you for that. The next question is basically when you explain the importance of soft skills, right? How do you actually convince your manager to make sure that they also understand the importance to invest in your growth in other technical skills, or more importantly, soft skills, so that it will help you in your career as well?
Vera, I know you know some tips. Go ahead.
yeah, as a
Well,
project manager.
Generally, there could be two strategies. So you can either talk about the benefits or about the risks. So it's better you know your manager a little bit more to figure out whether they are on the fair side or on the dark side, whether they are more scared of risks or they are more open to new opportunities. And anyway, in both of the situations, managers don't like to talk about problems. They like to talk about solutions, and they like to review options. So if you would like to change something on your project, think a little bit about it. What would you like to have or to see? If you would like to have a new tool and it comes with a price, try to articulate what is the benefit, what it will bring to the team, to your manager, and to the client. Like, team would become more productive, manager would become more confident in the result, and the product overall would become more stable, and that would make client happy. And once you're ready, go and do your elevator pitch.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So then make sure that everyone is really convinced about what they want to do and be ready with their elevator pitches to be put across their managers, and hope everyone will be successful. So the next question is, how do you consider the importance of cultural differences when you work with a client from a different culture, or maybe colleagues from a different culture in the software field? What should be kept in mind?
That's an interesting one. Like, we live in a connected world, and the things are not like they were like some time ago. So at least you should be aware what are the people you work with, what are the cultures they're coming from, and be cautious about some things you do or say in order just not to hurt people around you. And how you can do that, there are many things you can do, like including like thinking about cultural bias courses, or I don't know, empathy, or emotional intelligence, or stress management once again. And overall, this knowledge may help you. Of course, for us, it's easier to talk and work with like-minded people who come from same background, but that kind of narrows us down a little bit. So the more diverse the group is, the better ideas and the better solution you will have in the end.
Yeah, and I'm really happy that at EPAM we have such an opportunity to work with people from different countries, from different places, different ages, because as you said, this diversity brings more ideas, and it's just more interesting, right? And yeah, I think that I'm really glad that we have we can communicate with people from different continents even. So I think that it's nice, and it also develop your communication skills as well, and your empathy, because you will know some different cultures, some different ethnicities, and it will be easier for you for future to find a connection with every person. So
Yeah, I agree. That's a beautiful perspective to have. So the last question that I see here is from Edward. He asked any suggestions to a person who wants to start his or her development career after 40. So he's asking whether age is a limitation.
guys, I'm too young, so girls, please go ahead.
Come on, Lisa. What is the reason? What is the reason I'm saying about age? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many years you have right now, like 20, 30, 40, 50. If you would like to change your life, just do it, because it's your life only one. It doesn't. Nobody in software engineering in our companies, IT companies, not looking at the age. So if you would like to become a software engineer, go ahead and do it. For sure, you will have some additional limitations, like you need to spend time for the working, because probably in such age you need to to grow your children, to spend more time with them. It's just a different life work balance, but still everything possible. If you would like, I recommend do it. Don't stop, don't think about the age. It doesn't matter at all. Yeah, Vera, you can add a bit more.
I have maybe slightly different perspective on that, and my first recommendation would probably be, you definitely already have some experience in your life as a person and as a professional, and see if you can reuse that experience in order to get your job in software. Because software, it's not just programming, it's business analysis, it's user experience, it's testing, it's DevOps, it's like all of other things, including management. Like maybe if you are at your 40s, you already had an experience also as a leader, and that may help you. And maybe just also go research the market, like what are the positions that are popular, what is the demand, what would be the best programming language or technology to start with, like which is easier to learn and same time easier to find a job. And as we talked about before, do your best, don't give up, apply for interviews, and eventually you will succeed and you will get the job you dream of. Like
Beautiful.
as Vivian said, there is huge demand in software engineering. There are always positions, even during the recession times.
Exactly.
So if you have your offer solid, you will get the job.
And let me
And-
quickly add one thing that I always talk to my parents about, is that there is, a myth that your brain is work slower when you are in the age of 14, for example, but it's not so. If we have a willing, if we have diligence, we can achieve anything. Our human brain is always working, and it's developing this connections. It's always fine. You just need a will, and if you really want to start learning a programming language, for example, or go to IT and in a position, you can do it in any age.
Exactly. And I've seen people come into IT from so many interesting places. I've worked with musicians, doctors, army officers,
I was on
teachers.
training with 75 years old grandma. Can you imagine? She was on my trainings. 75. She was interested in programming.
Looks like we have one more success story.
Nice. Beautiful. And with EPAM, anyways, we have the flexibility to move from, let's say, from a QA to software, or from business analysis to software. And we have these strong competency metrics that allows us to identify which areas we need to focus on to move into any respective or any interested field that we want to move to. And we have the assessment process throughout the year to help you move into the domain that you want to. So there is huge flexibility within EPAM that I really like as an organization. So at EPAM, the opportunities that you receive is endless. So if you are not in EPAM, do join EPAM. And if you are at EPAM, please do look at the competency metrics. And if you are interested in software, do try to move it to the software field as soon as possible. Perfect. So ladies, the questions have come to an end. It was a very, very interesting and learning experience to be a participant and listen to your life experiences. Some of those life experiences from very young person and from those who have had more than a decade experience in software engineering. So thank you for your time. And I hope the participants who listen to your session also learned a lot from this particular session. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you to our wonderful audience once again, and enjoy EngX Day conference.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Hope we will meet again soon. So
See you. Yeah.
see you.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.